A spectacular performance. Curry from half court. Sometimes, something looks like it's been there a while.
We are here, the 3 Points Podcast, joined by just two co-hosts, just like last time, just like the last few times, except a different combination of hosts. We just got a Hassan and Wesley, but this is this moment we've all been waiting for. We all thought this was kind of inevitable, and it's just we're all happy it happened. Game 7 of the San Antonio Spurs, Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, with the San Antonio Spurs facing off against the Oklahoma City Thunder, with the San Antonio Spurs coming out on top, 111 to 103. There's so much to go over, schematics wise, storyline wise, but I think this doesn't happen very often where you're getting a Game 7 in the playoffs, first round, second round, and then especially where conference finals or further. That's just kind of rarefied air, and it's not that it's very impressive, but it's just more like the entertainment, and we're just getting two of the best teams of the decade that we've ever seen, of the decade, kind of facing off against each other. There was a stat that kind of showed in the broadcast, so you guys probably have already seen this, but this is the first time since 2002 where the two best records in the NBA are facing off in a Game 7. So obviously the caliber of teams kind of speaks for itself. Oklahoma City coming into it, they were the heavy favorites. A lot of people saying that the Spurs, hopefully they can push it 7, hopefully push it 6 or 7, like no pun intended. We were just hoping that the Spurs could, push this Thunder team to their limits, because this Thunder team was rolling, coming off an NBA championship, looking invincible. And this Spurs team it's just kind of surprising it to everyone. I think that they've already arrived. I think people were optimistically thinking that they might be able to push them to 7, but ultimately lose. And that next year or the year after that, that's when the Spurs, will, Wemby's already here, but the younger guys that's when they'll show up and be there for Wemby and be able to push them over the top and win a title or make it to the finals. But it is just kind of crazy that it's already happened. And against this caliber of team, it can't be. I guess you can't just neglect how good this Thunder team is. I mean, the defending champs. They were pretty unhealthy, throughout the series. Not to put an asterisk on it, everybody. The Spurs had their own fair share of injuries, but it is just I'm kind of shocked a little bit, even though it's been I want to say 20 or so minutes since it actually happened, and probably 30 minutes since it was kind of obvious that the Spurs were ultimately going to pull away. But I don't know, there's schematics to get into, but I do think it just has to be acknowledged, the rare occurrence of this happening. The Thunder kind of, I don't know, being formerly the young team in the league that's kind of taking over, and then all of a sudden now there's this even younger team with younger guys at the top. There's got to be some stats somewhere where they can kind of measure how much the average age of a team based on minutes played, because I think this team has got to be up there, because the majority of the guys playing at the top, it's Wemby, it's Stephon Castle, it's Dylan Harper, it's Carter Bryant, it's Vassell, it's Champagny, it's I'm trying to think of other guys, but there are vets on this team, so not to go too much on that tangent, but I think it just has to be acknowledged that I am just kind of shocked that this Thunder team went out, just kind of went out. I mean, in 7, no less, but it is just kind of shocking. That's my initial thoughts. Hassan, give your thoughts. Were you surprised? How shocked are you? Yeah,
we are fresh off the Western Conference Finals Game 7. The Western Conference Finals MVP, the man, the myth, the legend, the Slenderman.
Harrison Barnes.
I mean, insert all the nicknames possible. Victor Wembanyama, well deserved. It is really insane. It's history repeats itself for the Spurs. I mean, you had Tim Duncan in '99. Second year they made it to the finals, played against the Knicks. Now you got a guy like Victor Wembanyama. I mean, it's insane. It is insane that they were able to have such insane luck. I think LeBron, interview.
What about
there's
do you
a
think
lot
is
of
luck?
talent.
What about do you think is luck? The injuries of it, or what?
No, the luck of
AJ
drafting a guy like Victor Wembanyama, right? Because there's plenty of talented young guys coming into the league. We've seen guys like Zion Williamson. We've seen guys like Blake Griffin entering the league. We've seen guys like Anthony Davis, obviously like LeBron. all these guys who are extremely, extremely talented. But this level of being so dead serious, like so serious, like I need to win. Like that's it. Like you could tell Wemby, this is everything. Like, I mean, yeah, you got all the reports of him going up those mountains, dribbling a ball, 7 hours, 8 hours. Look, some people could be skeptic about those stories, me. But what's the baseline point there? Let's say he didn't do the 7 hour hike. What is he still doing in China or wherever the hell he was? He's perfecting his game. He's meditating. He's not partying, going to the strip club in the summer. He's not in Cancun partying up. He's dead serious. And that's what LeBron said. I mean, the Spurs are effing lucky or something like that to get guys like Wembanyama. Not just talented guys. Guys who are serious about the game. Tim Duncan, same demeanor. They were serious. I think to kind of add to what you were saying, my thoughts, it was a very enjoyable series. I mean, we had two young teams facing off. And my biggest takeaway from this is, besides kind of the obvious stuff, is that, man, it's hard to repeat. Forget about three-peat. It's hard to repeat in this league.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because I remember like every year that a team has won, it's been like, well, they're the favorites for next year. But what's happened? I mean, since 2018, we haven't had a team repeat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In almost a decade, we haven't had a single team repeat. Even though every year it's like, oh, they're the favorites.
Mm-hmm.
It's genuinely shocking. I mean, how much percent do you think the Thunder falling short, albeit in 7, is because J-Dub wasn't in the lineup? Because a lot of the offensive load, it really fell on Shai. Not to say that other guys weren't stepping up. I want to give a huge shout out to Alex Caruso. That dude was hooping. I mean, he was literally hitting big shots, big defensive plays. He was like literally doing stuff in the paint, playmaking, etc. Huge shout out to him. But obviously the offensive load, Shai had to take a lot of it. He had to take a lot of it. And it was Chet today, for example. I mean, look, I gotta say, look, I know I'm a hater. I am a hater. And I know if my fellow co-host podcast partner Thomas was here, he would agree because we both low-key hate on Chet.
No, he had a bad
I just find
game.
his game a little bit annoying. Today, he was just abysmal. I mean, he was, 1 for 2, 4 points, 4 rebounds. I mean, Wemby owns, whatever that means. I know this is sports talk or media talk or Stephen A's talk. Like, Wemby owns him. But I mean, Wemby owns him. Literally. Literally, he is in his head. And he tried to do this whole nonchalant act the entire series. Like, I don't even notice this guy. Bro, be quiet. This guy is in your head. And it showed up today. Like, he was nowhere to be seen. From the Spurs end, Champagne, dude. Holy crap. This dude is damn near 50% from 3 for, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very impressed by the young guys. De'Aaron Fox, he had a very shaky series overall, I would say, but tonight, that veteran presence.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He was there. He had 15 points. I think he had more points than he had in, game 4 and 5 combined or something like that. I forgot the stat. It was a good, he showed up. These guys showed up to win today away from the court, and it wasn't just the points. There were some plays that Fox made at the end, a good foul. I forgot in the last minute or 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. It was last minute.
Veteran mindset.
40 seconds.
Yeah. Luke Cornett, massive defensive block. When Wemby had 5 fouls, they took him out. They put in Luke Cornett, blocked Isaiah Hardenstein. Huge. These are huge for momentum. Now, I'm just kind of rambling here. We're really fresh off the game, but how much percent would you say? Look, if J-Dub is here, I don't know. I may give the slight edge to the Thunder, to be honest. Even though the Spurs haven't indicated that they would not have been able to manage that as well, because their defensive scheme on Shai was brilliant. Although that did allow them to double aggressively on Shai, right? Because they knew that, listen, they don't have a guy like Jay who can just dish it out to that if we sag off of, he will kind of hurt us, right? So I don't know. It is a toss-up. But I think, personally, it was a pretty massive blow to the Thunder that J-Dub was not here. What do you think, Wes?
I mean, I think kind of going back to your original or something you did touch on with repeating, I think it's more than just teams don't get better in that second year or they're not the same team. I think this OKC team is just as good, if not better, than the team that won the title. It is just injuries do kind of stack up sometimes. They're missing AJ, they're missing J-Dub. I think AJ to me is what's more important than J-Dub in any, because of the offensive, kind of like you said, the offensive load that Shai has to build on. I mean, just having that's why Jared McCain, even though his off the dribble skill, I guess, is not it's not anything to tip your hat at, but it is just so much more than anybody else has, and that's kind of why AJ I think is so much more important than J Dub. It's not like obviously J Dub might be their best defender, like one on one on the perimeter. In transition, he's incredible offensively, but I think just you definitely felt AJ's presence missing more than you felt J Dub. I mean, they won the title last year without J Dub in certain stretches. Not that J Dub was huge, like he's their second to third best player, arguably depending on the matchup. But I do think that in this matchup specifically, where offense is just so much harder, so much more harder to come by. I think both these teams are incredible defensively. Like Wemby's presence, and then the all like pretty much like 10 all defense level players on the Thunder. Like we know how good they are defensively. I think what you were really missing is that offensive number two, which kind of is what AJ was. I mean, I think like towards the right coming into the series, an interesting question was like, how would you rank the Spurs and Thunder guards combined? And it's like, okay, Shai's number one. Then you're kind of ranking like I think like AJ might be number two over. I mean, Fox. I think like at the time before his reputation, he kind of just diminished his whole his whole aura that he had. Like he was kind of up there, but now it's kind of I think like Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle have kind of leapfrogged them. But I think like AJ when he's healthy is like second best, especially when you're talking offense.
You'd say over J Will?
J Will, the center.
Sorry, J Dub.
Well, J Dub, like I don't really consider him like a guard. He's more like a forward, but like so like from that perspective.
So you have him because I've always seen like a 2-3, and I kind of slot him to a guard. To be honest,
he's like 6'6". I mean, yeah. So I guess, but like I do think like AJ was their second best player this series. I mean, this season. Just I mean, he was so incredible. I mean, like you can't really understate like how valuable it is, especially on this team that's so depleted of offensive juice. I think like people, I think it's kind of going away, like the kind of overrating the offensive talent on this OKC team, and then it kind of leads to underrating Shai. But I do think AJ is a legitimate like all-star level player. I mean, I would not be surprised if he's eventually kind of reaches that that title. It'll obviously it has to do with health a lot of the time with certain guys just staying healthy enough to make that mark. But AJ is an incredible player, and I think you really miss that on-ball juice. I mean, just kind of like you said, they're able to schematically, very aggressively double Shai. So it is just kind of something that you're missing, I think. And I think as you're watching this series, there are lulls all the time, offensive lulls where Thunder are just going scoreless, especially in the non-Shai minutes where it's it's like Kenrich Williams is getting up shots, Isaiah Hartenstein is getting up shots, Caruso, Cason Wallace. These guys are trying to create off the dribble, and it's just not good. Those guys are great or pretty good off ball. I mean, that's why like Shai kind of he can create a lot of offense for them. Getting them wide open looks, getting them decent, not too contested looks, and they can knock down those shots. But off the dribble, those guys are pretty much non-factors, and that's where you really are missing an AJ Mitchell. And I think also, like I said, not to diminish what J-Dub does because he is an all-world defender, but it is just kind of like how many all-world defenders can you really have on the team before having an all-world defender doesn't mean that much to this OKC team specifically. Like obviously on a very skilled offensive team, not very skilled defensive team, J-Dub probably means much more, but for this specific team, I think AJ is much more valuable.
Impactful.
Yeah, and I think he with them fully healthy, I think OKC probably wins the series. But
I would definitely agree with that because
but he wasn't. So I mean,
exactly. I mean, ultimately, look, what does history remember? History remembers that the Spurs got it in 7. That's it, right? In the '99 NBA playoffs, all we know is that the Spurs won against the Knicks. We don't remember who the Western Conference Finals opponent were missing, right? So it's just the way the cookie crumbles for the NBA, for sports in general, right? Like there's always asterisks. You could put an asterisk for every single series, every single chip, every single Super Bowl, every single World Series, every single World Cup,
every single math test,
etc.
Every single math test, physics test,
everything,
life.
Everything. Exactly. So it's just unlucky for the Thunder.
It's not like the Spurs. Like Dylan Harper and Fox are both definitely dealing with stuff. So it's not like the Spurs aren't dealing with their own injuries, which are just as important. Like Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox were kind of critical to them kind of limiting the turnovers. I remember like early on in the series and like midway through the series, Stephon Castle having to be that lead offensive guard. I mean, he was turning the ball over like it was like he's flipping cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Like he had like 20 turnovers over 2 games.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
ugly. So I mean, just having those guys, like kind of, I think a lot of times we think about the names of like who guys were missing, but it's you have to think about like what is that team losing without that guy. Like obviously,
Yeah.
J-Dub is great, but you still have lineups that have all defensive level players like Kaysen, Alex
Exactly,
Caruso.
exactly,
So
exactly. I think I definitely agree with everything you said, and I think the Thunder would win this if they had J-Dub, if they had AJ. I think they win this, just because they can't make Shea struggle as much, because it's just a simple reality, right? Like if you lose your number two, number three scorers and options, those are massive blows to you as a
yeah,
team.
yeah.
And it's kind of like the Steph effect, right? Like what's been our plight what's
No
been the
second
plight of the
option.
Warriors franchise? No second option, inconsistent third options. And that's kind of what happened to the Spurs here. They had a phenomenal first option in SGA, but they didn't have a second option and they didn't have a consistent third option. It was like, is it McCain? Is it Caruso? What's going on here? Is it Hardenstein's goofy floater shot? Like, they just couldn't get that going. And I think that was the unfortunate issue with them. The Spurs, they had I wouldn't say they have a. I mean, would you say they have a consistent number two? Because I wouldn't. I would personally, I would say it like this: they have consistent like number threes who can rise as number twos, and then the other guys would remain as number three. Like Champagny was hitting big shots. Dylan Harper. Obviously, you mentioned the turnover issues with
Stephon Castle. Dude,
Stephon Castle.
he's incredible. I'll just kind of try to answer your question. I feel like a lot of teams. I mean, this Spurs team in particular, they don't really have like a peg. Like this is our number one in terms of like peg number one, peg number two. Just like with OKC, it's pretty obvious who their alpha dog is, and Wemby is probably
It's
Wemby.
Wemby's.
Yeah, but it's also like it's not necessary. Like not on every single possession are they running offense through him. Whereas Shea, it's like
True,
100%.
but
He's
I
their
would say
best
it's
offensive
like
player. Best offensive player, 100%. Like the gravity he has, it's like no other. In most insane lob radius.
there's significant ball movement for the Spurs. I get what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
I think it really is just their offense scheme is really Wemby or a nice shot, nice three. Like that's predominantly their schemes. Majority. Obviously, they got driving in, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that's like a good chunk of their offensive scheme.
I mean, their process is like beautiful. Just the insane amount of shooters, the insane athleticism, guys that are able to get downhill, guys that are able to bully the Thunder's all defense level players like Kaysen Wallace,
I mean,
Alex
literally,
Caruso. Certain guys are.
You just kind of reminded me, like, sorry to cut you off, like Champagny, don't get it twisted. He's a phenomenal three-point shooter. There were plays where he was going at Chet, the second-ranked DPOY, who is significantly longer than him, significantly taller than him, an elite rim protector. He was going at him, Ajo. But it was like, I was like shocked. I was like, this guy is going at Chet fearless. So 1,000% agreed. Like it was just a very, very nice offensive team in general.
Yeah. I mean, their process is really kind of beautiful. You can kind of tell, like, I don't know if it stems from their coach, Mitch Johnson, or Wemby, but like, it kind of feels like they just, like, I think all young teams kind of have this, but they're just like playing for each other. It's kind of easy when you're young because it's like, okay, we have nothing to lose. Like, if we lose to this OKC team, like, okay, yeah, they're the defending champs. They were supposed to win. But I think like they were kind of playing free, and I think it stems from Dylan Harper being so much more mature than like any rookie I've ever seen. Like he's contributing on a championship team in ways that are just like you just don't see. Like it's not like he's relying on pure athleticism.
You don't think he's a rookie, exactly? Caleb Bryant, or is that his name? Caleb Bryant?
Carter Bryant.
Carter Bryant. He looks like a rookie. Like when he's out there, I could tell. Okay, this guy's kind of nervous. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Dylan Harper doesn't seem like he's a rookie.
I mean, his ability to like limit turnovers, I think, is just like I like Stephon much better as a player currently, just because of how well he defends Shea, and I think like the rebounding and cutting that he's a really good finisher. It's kind of crazy, like in traffic sometimes, like you see Chet there and like a bunch of other bodies, and then somehow he just kind of jumps up. And I don't know if he just hangs there longer than them, and that's how he can get it up, or if he's just stronger or whatnot. But there's times throughout this game where he's just like finishing among the trees, and you're kind of like, yeah, that's not normal. Like I don't think any. I mean, he is like 6'6", so he's pretty tall, but he is just like an incredible guy to have on your team, like a guy who can give it to you on both ends. Pause. But yeah, back to Dylan Harper. I think like there was like a couple times throughout this game where a younger player, a younger, less experienced. I mean, he is as young as he gets, but a less experienced player or a less mature player would, turn it over in their situation because you're facing the greatest perimeter collection of perimeter defense talent that there's ever been. He's forcing it. One of them is forcing out of bounds, and then instead of chucking up a shot and probably missing, you're kicking it back out to the top of the key and resetting. I mean, that's kind of like a small thing, but it's just kind of a microcosm of the ways that this some of these young guys are just like so much mature already and kind of understand how to limit mistakes and kind of play to your strengths. And yeah, because I think both teams executed like pretty well. I don't really see it as like a OKC choke job necessarily. Like maybe they're the overdogs, but it's not like I can't really think of any way that they could have executed better. I mean, there's certain guys that could have played better, like Chet, 100%, like throughout the series, pretty bad. But I mean, their offensive outside of Chet, I think their offensive process was pretty dang good. Like Shea kind of finally found a way to break free and have probably his best game of this series. He was getting decent shots up, getting to the line, and facilitating pretty well. I mean, he is kind of facilitating in a pretty hellish environment. Like just Wembenyama, obviously, that's Wembenyama and Cornet. I mean, that's two incredible rim protectors at all times. Obviously, Wemby's far and away the better one, but the coverages that Shea was dealing with was pretty brutal. And yet he found a way to produce, I think, pretty well in that environment. Yeah, I think that's. I guess. Do you have anything you wanted to touch on? I have one other topic I definitely want to talk about, but
yeah, I mean, I think that's my major takeaways from the series. What do you want to talk about?
I just kind of want to talk about the way that I guess like Shay's talked about in the media. I don't know. I don't know. It is just sports media being sports media where they just come out with inflammatory takes about certain players, or maybe it's just like natural, I guess content or not contentment, but realizing how good a team is, and you just gotta find something to talk about.
You're just hating. You're just hating. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it is kind of disgusting or just kind of annoying that people in media, people who I probably would respect their opinion on sports, or I don't know, kind of just willfully misunderstanding like how basketball works. I guess like maybe they don't like a player or like a team, and then they just forget how to read the game objectively. I mean, there's times throughout the series. I'm talking about Shai's free throws, just off the bat, and want to beat around the bush, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like it shouldn't really be too much of a topic of discussion, like how many free throws X team gets. I mean, throughout this series, it swung both ways. Like some games, the Spurs got more free throws. Sometimes some games the Spurs or the Thunder got more free throws. So ultimately, I think it's kind of like a media thing, making something out of nothing, and then everybody just kind of rolls with it. That it's the truth that the Thunder have some kind of I don't know, not paying off the refs. Obviously, I don't think that's what people are insinuating, but that I don't know, the refs favor them in some way or another. I mean, I think it also, regardless of any, I don't know, willful ignorance, I think it kind of takes away from the fact that some defenses defend better than others. Some defenses are better at defending without fouling, which I think the OKC team is excellent at. And the Spurs were throughout the series at certain points when they were able to defend Shea and other guys without fouling too much. I think they pushed those guys to their worst tendencies. But I think when you I think it kind of bails out these defenses when you kind of just claim that, not you specifically, just people in general claim that all the refs are just giving fouls to X team. And it's like, okay, well, did you watch the play? He probably got fouled. And then kind of on the other end, if you claim that there was a foul and there wasn't, well, did you watch the play? He kind of got all ball, or he was very meticulous with where he placed his hand. I think like specifically like a player that comes to mind is Cason Wallace, who's excellent at this, is just kind of, I mean, these guys are like all world defenders. It's not like they practice just swatting at the ball blindly, like not aiming for the ball at all. These guys are professionals. They know how to defend without fouling. I mean, they're not perfect. Obviously, stuff happens, but I think they're pretty incredible at placing their hand in there, causing disruptions, causing deflections. I mean, it's not really surprising because this team is one of the greatest defenses of all time. But I think just the media can kind of just tell you lies and just I don't know if I'm just kind of like an old man just on my porch just yelling at the kids, but yeah, that's just kind of how that's just something that's kind of it's kind
Yeah,
of
I mean,
annoying
I think
because this is
I
like peak
think
basketball.
honestly,
This is like peak basketball, and we should be kind of talking about how great these teams are, how are they like how is that chess match going between these two all-time great because I think these are two all-time great teams. Like it is just kind of undeniable, but instead we're talking about X player got more free throws or X player's flopping, but it's like okay, watch the game, have your opinion on some schematics or something that's going on that actually matters, not like some personal vendetta you have against X player, like. But anyways,
yeah, I think honestly, for all the media stuff, I mean, it's like I think real fans and real basketball enthusiasts shouldn't even give like a percent of brain energy or time to any of these sources and such. It's like, look, are foul calls consistent? No, they're not. Are they favored towards a specific team? 90 plus percent of the time, no. Right? Like, yeah, is it true that sometimes there's a bad call? Yeah, do players flop? Absolutely they do. Yes. Does Shea flop sometimes? Yes. But does every other player flop? Yes. Like it's
including
just a thing
Wemby,
that's including Wemby. Like very many times in this series he did that, right? That's just the way the game has been, right?
under
It's just
peak.
funny because it's like we point fingers at like soccer. Oh, basketball players flop a lot as well. Like it's like kind of funny because it's like it's not just the refs. Yes, is it possible we have created an environment where flopping is rewarded? There could be an argument made there. I could see that
Yeah,
argument,
yeah. I mean,
but it's just dumb when people are just like, oh, the refs want SGA to win, so that's why they're giving him more. It's just like, all right, bro. Like, okay, all right, okay, they're doing that. Okay, all right, what?
yeah,
What do you want to do?
yeah,
What
yeah.
do you want to do? Can you prove this? Do you have any tangible evidence? Do you have something productive to add? No. So then it's just like, shut up. Like, although I will say, like, I mean, if I see a SJ flopping meme and that, I'm forwarding that because I'm a hater and it's just fun to hate. But obviously, when I'm walking in as a fan and I'm having a serious discussion, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh my god, SGA is such a terrible player because he flops. That's 90% of his game. Look, some guys do foul bait a little bit more. That's just part of their game. Guys like Joel Embiid, guys like James Harden, guys like Austin Reeves, guys like Shea, I would include in
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Although a that's a skill in itself. It requires skill to be able to read your defender to get them out of position and get them in a position where they have to be chasing you or something and then follow you. Again, it is a holistic issue in general. It's not just a Shea issue. It's not just a Thunder issue. I mean, this is silly. Like, I don't even. That's why it's such a brainless topic of conversation. If I meet
Mhm.
someone and their first thing is like, "Man, did you see the refs just giving him?" That's my cue to be like, "This person does not know NBA. This person is a casual. There is no point of me bringing any points to this person.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a waste of time." And that's majority of fans. Like, that's fine. Like, people are casuals. There's no
Mhm.
shame in it. But he's just like, whatever. Okay, Stephen A. Smith is yapping about whatever. I don't know if he said it, but like, I'm just saying he's the first one that comes to mind, right? Or Skip
Mhm.
Bayless or whatever. I mean, like, Skip Bayless says LeBron is eighth all time. Like, these guys are clearly dumb people. Like, they're not intelligent folks.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
made a career in basically rage baiting and getting thumbnails and clicks. Who are the guys that don't get these clicks? Guys like the Nerd Sesh guys. Kenny Beecham, I would say, is the most successful out of this batch,
The Three
but he's
Points
authentic.
Podcast,
The 3.5 guys, they
quickly
don't give us
rising,
clicks.
rising to the top.
Exactly. Guys like what's that guy, man? The ex
Jason
basketball
Tim.
player Jason Tim,
Yeah,
because they bring authentic takes.
yeah. Mhm.
Jason Tim's a Lakers fan, but he'll be the first one to say, "I think we're cooked. We're losing."
Yeah, yeah. Or Luca flopped
So,
or whatever. Yeah.
or Luka's a flopper. Exactly. So, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't even think it's point. There's even any productivity in these type of discussions because people are just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
it's just rage baiting. What I will say though is, hey, if I see a video that I'm forwarding it because it's funny and it's funny to rage bait and it's funny to hate. And I'm a Warriors fan, so any team besides the Warriors, I'm gonna hate on. So
Yeah.
that's the way of a fan. But when I'm talking about from a actual perspective as like a player, as a non-casual fan that I aspire to be, it's stupid. It's just it's all this whole discussion is ridiculous. So I'm with you. I know Thomas's take would have been like, "Oh, Shay's a foul baiter," to rage bait, but I know he agrees with us too. That it's
funny
just stupid.
because he's also the biggest like Embiid fan, so it's kind of like you get it, bro. You know when
He's,
people are accusing.
I think it's just a casual thing when you're watching as a fan. Look, if I'm watching a game, I'm a Warriors fan. If there's a foul against my team, my first reaction is that's not a foul.
Yeah,
If it's a foul, I'm not giving a Steph. I'm thinking that is a foul.
dude, but
It's
that's
just a
the thing
natural
is
way of
like
watching sports.
that's the thing is like I was really cool with like the Spurs, like claiming that like the refs are getting paid because it's like okay, you're a Spurs fan. I don't care what links you go to dirty tricks, whatever, root against the other team. But like just the broad, even like non like Stephen A. Smith guys, like I don't know, the commentators sometimes, the way they talk about how Shea, draws contact or whatever, it's just I don't know, it's kind of disingenuous.
I think it's also just natural, like they're the villain, right? Quote unquote. Like I mean, no one can be the villains like the Warriors were in the late 2010s, but it's kind of like that effect now. Where it's just like,
true.
I mean, naturally, if you're the favorite, people are gonna hate, and I don't see anything wrong with that. But and I'm gonna join someone if they're doing like, yeah, man, what the heck, foul? But it's just a stupid discussion. Like, okay, all right, like I think it's whatever.
Last thing I wanted to say about flopping is I do think like sometimes it's flopping, sometimes it's not. But I think sometimes a player just falls down to avoid potentially getting injured. Like I think, especially with Embiid specifically, Shea does this too. But just it's kind of seems like they're comically flopping. But I also think sometimes in that case, they might just be trying to avoid landing on the guy's toes and like seriously getting injured. So it can kind of look like, bro, what are you doing? That's not a basketball play, but sometimes I think it's a little gray area.
Like I think for all practical purposes, like, is it annoying? I think flopping is annoying in general. I think inconsistent calls are annoying in general. But that's just kind of the nature of the game, right? Like, I mean, and whatever. These discussions are silly. Like these are just low IQ conversations. It's like whatever. Like, all right, bro, womp womp, cry about it. I mean, go send a letter to Adam Silver, send a letter to what's his name, Tony Brothers or whatever the hell. Go send your submits, and then all right, make a change, man. Like, all right, bro. So, anyways, so we're excited for the NBA Finals. I think when Thomas gets back, we'll do an NBA Finals preview video.
Yeah, 100%. I was thinking like probably shouldn't do it today because
it'll be the first time the whole gang is back. It's been a little bit of a gap. I've been inconsistent because of work, et cetera, but we'll get an episode for you three guys, us three together before the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I'll do the just because I've technically been hosting. I'll make sure I close out, I guess. But thank you guys for tuning in this time for your Game 7 commentary. I know this is a very important choice. Who are you going to go to commentate about this Game 7? Thank you for coming to us, and we'll be back at you guys for a preview of the NBA Finals in probably a few days or so. So thank you all, and see you guys next time.